Good evening, everyone. I will stop sharing. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of English Without Borders, I am delighted to welcome you to our weekly Thursday webinar series. I am pleased to see so many of our followers joining us today at 6 p.m. Tajikistan time via Facebook and Zoom. We offer a webinar series for English teachers which is open to everyone, regardless of their background. Our goal is to provide valuable insights and resources on a variety of English language learning topics. Today's webinar will focus on the topic effective lesson planning for effective learning. Marwa Mansour will share her insights on effective lesson planning for effective learning and provides practical tips for you, dear audience. Before giving the floor to our honored speaker, I would like to introduce her to you. So Marwa Mansour is the CEO of Oxford School. She has a master's degree in English education from Indonesia and has served in various positions in private schools across different countries. She has also attended several pieces of training regarding different implementation in English teaching, teachers training, evaluation and assessment, and preparation for accreditation, AIAA Advanced, Cambridge IB. She volunteered in Thisol, Saudi Arabia for 2 years and has a podcast on Instagram. I hope you enjoy the webinar and I encourage you to ask questions and participate in the discussion using our chat, writing your opinion in our chats or unmute yourself and ask your questions. Thank you so much, dear audience, for joining. And now, dear Marwa Mansour, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gulnora, for this introduction. Thanks a million. And thank you for giving us this chance to gather in the evening time after finishing our work, just to improve ourselves together. Thank you, dear. Okay, welcome, dear audience. It is not our first time to meet this year. And inshallah, we are going to meet again and again. And EWB is a great mean just to help us to meet and improve ourselves together. Good evening to all of you. Currently, I will share my presentation. Let's start. We have limited time, only 1 hour. Okay. So as we see here, the topic for today is about effective lesson planning for effective learning. I know that most of the attendees are educators, and most of you are very well practiced on preparing your lesson plans. Today, we wanted to look at the lesson plan from a different angle. We wanted to just dive deep inside the lesson planning because what we have seen recently is most of the teachers are depending on their experience that I know the topic, no need to plan. So they just get inside their classrooms unprepared, maybe, and believe me, the students are very smart to figure out that you are not well prepared, and they understand that you don't care for your lesson, and of course, as a result for that, they don't care for the lesson as well. So that's why we needed to focus on that topic. And today I have only 2 parts to discuss with you: the why and how. Why are we planning our lessons at the first place? And how can we plan our lessons in a different way that makes it effective in our classroom or even for us as teachers? So first, I would like to get the response from you, dear audience. Do you plan every lesson you conduct in your class? Answer with yes or no in the chat box, please. Do you plan every lesson? Do you sit for a while with yourself and just plan, today I will do this, I will do that, I will do this, I will do that? Okay, we have a very honest no. Okay, any more? Do you plan your lesson, every lesson before you go to the classroom? Answer with yes or no in the chat box, please. And if we have some answers on Facebook, just let me know the majority. Is it yes or no? Okay, we have a yes here. Okay. I believe maybe on Zoom, I can't see many answers, but maybe on Facebook, there are more answers. Okay, so let me talk from my own experience. What I see is that most of the experienced teachers, as I told you, they don't care about planning before being inside the class. They believe in their own knowledge and their own ability of teaching, and they just go to the class unprepared and just explain the lesson. But actually planning is going farther than that. Let's look at why are we planning our lesson? Why do we need to plan our lesson? Some of teachers also believe that planning the lesson is only a routine that is needed by administration or by the Ministry of Education or by the school's principal or by my head of department or coordinator. And this is just a piece of routine, and I don't need to bother myself with that. And I have seen many people who are using their old lesson plans to use for following years. I have never done that, because if you think of your lesson plan in a connected way to the profile of the students you have in your class, you will see that you will plan every lesson in a different way for that specific class. I have more answers here. Yes. Some people are planning, some people are not always planning. So why are we planning? The first thing, we need a clear learning objective. Of course, many English teachers, they are bringing the learning objective from the book they are using. So if I am using, I don't know, if I am using Headway, so I just go to the teacher's book of Headway and I just copy pasted the learning objective. Actually, regarding the students I have in my class, I might have different learning objectives. So maybe if I am teaching them, let's say, for example, today's example is teaching the parts of speech. I have students, whether they are school students or whether they are adults, and I am teaching them the parts of speech, it means they are A1 level. So what are my learning objectives? Maybe it's not only knowing what is noun, what is verb, what is the preposition. Maybe I would like to go deeper than that. I want my students to know, for example, what are the proper nouns and common nouns. Maybe I would like them to know the difference between the adverbs and the adjectives. Maybe I would like them to differentiate the last syllabus of the noun, for example, just to realize this is a noun or something by the sounds or by the word itself. So maybe I have more learning objectives than yours. So you need to have a clear learning objective or learning objectives in your lesson plan. This is one. Number two, efficient use of time. Of course, as I am a director of a school, I need to go and attend many lessons for the teachers. And I have seen many times that the teachers are lack of time management. So the lesson ends in a way that the student got no conclusion, no wrap up in his mind. So what happens is that the teacher gets inside the class, they start explaining and explaining, however it takes them. And when the bell rings, they just go out of the class. There is no conclusion, no wrapping up, no collecting for the feedback. There is no reflection, nothing. So what happens here is that we are losing the objectives that we want to achieve. So when you plan your lesson, You know exactly what you are going to say in that lesson, and you use your time efficiently. The third why we are planning our lesson is the student engagement. You can't think while you are in the class, how can I engage my students? You should think about that in advance. Before you get inside the class, you need to find a way, an activity, something that you would do with your students in the class to keep them engaged in your lesson. I had a talk with some teachers who are teaching some other solid subjects, let's say like math, physics, and chemistry, and so on. And they are going through theory all the time. What did you do to engage your student in your lesson? I don't know. I have never thought about that. Yes, you have never thought because you have never planned. You are depending on your knowledge of physics, or of math, of English, of chemistry, and you are going just inside the class. You don't care about the students sitting in front of you. You just care about talking. I am filling my time with talking, and my board is full and their copybooks are full. So it means that the lesson is going well. It doesn't, because they are not engaged into your lesson. The following why is the differentiation. And whenever we discuss the differentiation, most of the people mind goes to the weak students. Actually, differentiation is needed for almost all the students. So everyone is different from the other one. What have you planned? What have you done to help the high achiever student to improve more in your class? What have you done to the low achiever student in your class to improve a little bit and feel motivated? So all this must be included in your lesson plan. Consistency for you as a teacher and for your subject. As you know, all of us, we are preparing a yearly plan at the beginning of the year. And again, from my experience, as I see, people are following the yearly plan as comfortable as they can feel. Like, for example, if today the lesson is, I should cover 3 pages, for example, from the book, oh, it's okay. I can cover only 2 now. Or if the class is high achiever class, they can cover 4 or 5 pages. So they don't follow the plan. Why? Because there is no planning for the plan. The yearly plan is not planned or is not broken down into lesson plans that would be covered in or be covered every day. Assessment and feedback. Maybe we have talked in one of our webinars that assessment, or the best type of assessment, is the continuous assessment that you apply all the time and after each lesson. So if I am not planning what type of assessment I'm going to apply every lesson, I am losing the focus of my students, because they know that that teacher, she never asks any questions, she never collect feedback from us. So it's okay just to let the time pass in her lesson. So if you are planning how to assess your students every time, how to collect the feedback from them every time, that would be an effective lesson plan. The following why is the reflection and improvement for you as a teacher. You know, you need to reflect to yourself, and your students, they need to reflect to you, and they need to reflect it with the methodology you are following in your class. And you really need to be aware about each feedback coming from your student. Am I doing good inside my class or not? Again, most of the teachers believe that I am doing great. The students are stupid. It's not the students are stupid. No student is stupid. I'm sorry to say, but it is lack of effort from the teacher to focus on that student who needs some differentiation, who needs a different methodology. That child sitting at the corner there, did he understand me today or not? What do I need to help him? What do I need to take his hand forward? So this is the way you reflect to yourself. And after that, in the following lesson, you tell yourself, in the following lesson, I will do this, this, this for him. So you are improving your methodology, or improving your teaching. I always tell the teachers, being 20 or 25 years in the field doesn't mean that you are experienced. Maybe you are following the same methodology for 20 or 25 years. It means that you are just like blind. You can use this methodology, but the real improvement is to shift among the methodology. We have many methodologies in teaching. So you need to shift among them. You need to use all of them. You need to try all of them. And when I ask you, what would you do with a weak student? You need to have a lot of or variety of ways to help this student to improve. If you can't answer this question, it means you are not an experienced teacher. The following why is the resource organization. Again, I have seen many teachers who are depending on only the student book and the workbook in the class and the board and the marker. That's it. However, there are a lot of resources around us in our world, not even in the school, not even in your university, but in the world. So they need to use these resources. And when you plan your lesson in advance, you have the time to think about what resources can I use to make my lesson effective here. So this is again a why we need to plan. Do we have a question? I hear some people talking. Okay. The following thing is the language development. Of course, while you are planning your lesson, you recognize what I have done with my students before and what will I do now? What will I do next? And this is one of my favorite ways of planning a lesson. It's not planning a lesson, it's planning a series of lessons. And I will show you this now. When you plan a lesson, you need to put it in a series of lessons. What was before and what will happen after? This way you are connecting all the topics, all the parts of teaching that you are doing inside your class to the previous knowledge and the upcoming knowledge. So this way you are developing the language with your students. The following why is the motivation. When you are planning your lesson, you need to think about how to motivate your students. Motivation is a big topic that needs hours to talk about. So there are many ways of motivating my students. Again, that will take us to the engagement part, how to motivate them and engage them. It can be only by the introduction of my lesson. Imagine that I'm going inside my class. Let's talk about a primary class, for example. I'm going inside my class with a puppet in my hand, and I just talk with the puppet. What will happen? I engaged the students in 3 seconds, and now they are motivated to listen to me for the whole lesson, only because they saw a puppet in my hand. In one of the years, I prepared a puppet of paper. And that time I was in Turkey, and I called that puppet Fikret. And I used to take that puppet, it is out of paper. So I used to take him with me into the class every time, and he doesn't talk. I just put him inside on my desk. And the students used to ask, who is this? And I tell them, this is Fikret, he is my friend. He is coming to attend the lesson with us. Only that helped me to keep them engaged the whole lesson, because all the time I am asking, okay, do you understand Fikret? And they say, yes, miss, he understands. We see him. He just understands everything. So only that puppet helped me. After a while, it is out of paper, it was torn, and I didn't take him to class. Everyone was asking about him. Where is Fikret? How can we attend to the lesson without him? So there are many ways to keep your students engaged and motivated to your lesson every day. The last why, and the big why here, is that I am not only planning this lesson for my students, I am planning that lesson to improve myself. So I need to assess my effectiveness inside the class. So am I doing good or not? How could I manage this part better or not? All these issues you need to discuss with yourselves. The big thing here is that all the things we are talking about now takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of time. So I can imagine the atmosphere of a school. Teachers are teaching their lessons. They run to the teacher's room. And instead of sitting, planning, or talking together, or even discussing, how can I plan this lesson together? They prefer to have some rest. Rest is fine. Teachers are getting tired a lot. I am not against that. But you need to have some time for your self-commitment as a teacher. I need to be more experienced. It means I need some time for myself to learn during my working day. No teacher is working all the day. All the teachers have gap lessons. If you have 4 gap lessons or 3 gap lessons, rest in 2 of them, learn in 1 of them. Only 40 minutes every day. It will help you. So, yeah, we have here a comment. I always bring my teddy bear with me at the lesson when I was teaching 5th grade. My students even write letters. Huh, that's it. They are writing letter to the teddy bear. I checked their English and grammar. Amazing technique. This is wonderful. So you could just grab their attention to your lesson. That's wonderful. Okay, so now we know the why, and I hope you are convinced that every day I need to plan my lesson. I am not going to go to my lesson with an empty head. If you know about the present simple, doesn't mean that you can explain it in a well way to your students. You need to plan how to explain it. Okay, so let's move forward in that. Now let's plan together. I want to show you some techniques, not only about the key components. We know them. I would like to stop sharing that, and I will just share something else with you. Here we have this, for example. So this is a very simple lesson plan I prepared just before being with you here. It is from imagination that I'm gonna just explain the parts of speech. What should I include in my lesson plan? This is a very simple format. Of course, it's changeable. You can change it as you like. This is the way I have been doing for years and years. So I need to mention, or I need to write to myself these things. Of course, the objectives are important. The information up there are very simple information that every one of you would know, I believe, like the name of teacher, what is the subject, what is the topic here, it is part of speech, which unit, it is unit 1, which lesson, it is lesson 3. This is the class, number of my students are 20, because maybe I'm preparing an activity or something. This is the date of today. Is it a series of lessons? Yes, this is the 3rd lesson. It means I have the 1st and 2nd lesson connected to that, and there is a 4th and 5th lesson connected to that. The duration of the lesson is 45 minutes because we need to manage the time. So we have here objectives, the objectives of the lesson, and in that side, I like to add the materials. I'm gonna use a lot of things here like story, cards, and activities and all these things. For the assessment, what I am gonna do to assess my students at the end. And for the adaptation, what I'm gonna do to adapt my students to this topic also. I will support them, I will do whatever, we will read this together. For here, this is the procedure of the lesson. As we know, we write the procedure or what to be done. But in my opinion, of course, everyone is free about that because it is like a standard lesson planning thing that we can find on all the websites and so on. Most of teachers, they like to write the procedure. The student goes to the board and does I don't know what. The teacher writes on the board, blah, blah, blah. The teacher says hi to the students at the beginning of the lesson. In my opinion, this is a waste of time because no one needs to know if you say hi or hello to your students. No one needs to say if you say good morning or assalamu alaikum. So I don't think this is a detail that we need to add to our lesson planning. And here, for example, the methodology of my teaching is clear. I will make the introduction here, and immediately I will start with a controlled activity. Controlled activity means an activity that I know exactly what should happen in that activity, and I can assume exactly what might be the result. And according to that result, or the result that I can see before it happens, I have my techniques to divide my class into low achievers and high achievers. So I know what will happen. It's a controlled activity. So some teachers ask Miss Marwa, where is the explanation of the teacher? The teacher should explain first, and then we do the activity. In my methodology, I do the activity first because this way the student is learning by himself. I don't need to teach him anything. They acquire the language by themselves. What happens after that, if you look at step 4 here in the controlled activity, provide feedback, clarification, and reinforcement as needed. So as my students need, I will clarify something for them, or I will explain some of them. So here the activity is about distributing some sentences with some cards and some colors, and they need to identify which is the noun, which is the verb, which is the adverb and adjective. As I told you, this is a lesson of a series of lessons. This is the 3rd lesson. So you can imagine that in the first lesson, I explained to them what is the noun. In the second lesson, I explained to them what is the verb. And in the 3rd lesson, we are taking the parts of speech. They have verb, noun, and they have adjective and adverb. So adjective and adverb are new things to them, but they will learn during this lesson that the adjective is to describe the noun and the adverb is to describe the verb. So here they will acquire this part without I tell them that, okay? So, and after that, what would happen? I will give them a free activity. It is another activity that they will start practicing what they have learned freely without any control of me. It's by reading the story or reading a short passage, and they will try to find out where are the parts of speech in that. The following step I have here is collecting the feedback from my students. Maybe I will ask them some questions. Maybe I will clarify something to them. Maybe we will have a discussion about what we have studied. Maybe we will have a discussion about the story we have read. So the feedback can be collected in this time. Finally, I will give them the homework. So here I collected my feedback, and then I'm giving them an assignment. The 3 last parts in my lesson plan are very important for me. Teacher development chances. How did I improve myself in this lesson? Or what I am gonna do inside my lesson to improve myself. So these are the points. And anticipated problems. As I know my students very well, I know that these are the problems I might face during explaining the lesson. Maybe they still can't differentiate the proper noun and the common noun. Maybe they still can't know the difference between the verbs and the helping verbs, for example. So I need to think about the problems that I might face while I am explaining to them. The last part here is differentiation. As you noticed here, for students who need extra support, I will do that. For advanced students, I will do that. So I need to think about both types of students, not only the weak ones. The question that comes here that, oh my God, should I do all this for every lesson? I should write all these things for every lesson. This is very exhausting. This is very tiring, and it takes a lot of time. Okay, how about if I am teaching more than one class? I am a teacher of grade 8, 9, and 10. Should I just keep on doing all this for every class? Okay, come my friend with me. Let me show you some tools that would help you as a teacher to manage all these things. I will share another screen with you here. For example, here we have a lot of websites that help the teachers to get some ready lesson plans. And after that, you can modify these lesson plans to your class or to the profile of the students that you are teaching. So, okay, I have some questions on the chat box. Maybe at the end, I will just answer these questions. So the first website I would like to show to you is the British Council Teaching English. This is an amazing help for the teachers. You can find a lot of resources there. And one of them is teaching plan, the lesson plans. So here, if we look at the lesson plans here at this part, teaching resources, you will see that there are primary, secondary, and adults. You can find lesson plans, activities, stories and poems, songs, and teaching tools. Everything is there. So I've clicked here for teaching primary. If I click the lesson plans, you will see that we have here, for example, level 1, level 2, level 3, whatever. So let's look at, this is a sample of the lesson plans that I have downloaded that just, I didn't want any problem with the internet. So this is a sample, for example, from Teaching English with British Council. And as you see here, the objectives are written, the age and level, the time, and the materials are here, introduction to your lesson, the procedure, as we know, and there are some activities also, and the way to collect the feedback. Here, to review the homework and the follow-up, everything is here. What I like about the lesson plans from the British Council is that here in the materials, it has some links. If you click the link, it helps you to get more materials to teach. For example, I'm clicking this one. So as you see here, I can see some flashcards related to the lesson about food. So here, these are the flashcards, and here you can print everything about the food flashcards. Let's go back once more. Here, I would like to show you, for example, this is a song here about food again, the topic we are teaching. So as you see here, this is the song. You can just play it, and even after the song, there is a game that you can play with your students, and there are also some printouts that you can print, like a worksheet or activity or the words in the song and all these things. So I love the lesson plans from the British Council, but most of the time, I just don't use it as it is. I take ideas from it to fill my lesson plan, or sometimes I just download and edit it. So this is an idea for you. There is another website here, teacher-created resources. And here you can find again, for example, this is a lesson plan for prepositions, and it has everything written and ready if you are gonna teach prepositions for grade 5 to 8. So what happens here is that I just take this lesson plan and I modify it for my class. This is also possible. Again, we have another one here, just a second. We have another one here, this website. And as you see here, Teacher Planet, you can see a lot of things, and even for different subjects, for math, for art and music, if you are primary class teachers and you are teaching all these things. For dance lessons, for drama, and here also for mathematics, visual arts, computer, keyboarding, programming, Chinese, Spanish, all the lessons you might need, writing, reading, grammar, handwriting, so all the lessons you might need, you can find all these are lesson plans. If I just click them, we can see a lot of lessons plans inside this. Another website I would like to show to you is Canva. I hope that you know that website. It's a really helpful website for all the teachers. There is part here, if you see up there, education. And in this part, you can see teachers and schools and students, teaching resources and all these things. If we go to teaching resources, you can see that there are a lot of things here also, a lot of materials. I would like to show some of them. Again, because of the internet, I didn't want to be late. Here, for example, there are ready activities that you can include into your lesson plan. Here, for example, there are ready lessons for science, for math, for English. They are ready already. So maybe you are teaching parts of the body, for example, you can find that plan of the lesson, cards, activities, everything ready there. Here, for example, as you can see, now I just would like to show you, this is one of the lesson plans I downloaded from Canva. And here I can edit it and I can write whatever I want in a very nice and neat way. Okay, how about if I have a lesson that I want to teach and I am in a hurry and I don't have the time to search on whatever British Council, on whatever teacher created. I don't have the time for that. I need just to hurry up on that. This is my final advice for you today. Just be into technology a lot. And one of the main trends in English teaching now is using AI, the artificial intelligence, just to help you as a teacher. Some of the teachers say this is not authentic. It is authentic. Why not? It is authentic. It can be authentic if you add your touch to it. So again, I will show you here. I think, can you see the ChatGPT screen, Ms. Gulnora?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yes. So here, for example, all of us, we heard about ChatGPT and the things happening there. And recently, many educators and many platforms, educational platforms, are started to go into teaching by AI. And you as a teacher, you need to learn about that also. So let's give it a try here. I love ChatGPT because it helps me a lot, especially in my documents and all these things. So for example, let's start here. I can give my orders to ChatGPT and he will prepare me everything. And after that, I will modify that. Let's see a sample together. So if I say to him, please prepare a lesson plan to explain body parts in English to grade 2 students, okay? And I tell him the lesson duration is 40 minutes, for example. This is a very simple request from ChatGPT or from any AI other creating or AI tool. So here, what I have done, I just give him the criteria I need. What is the name of the lesson? In which language? What is the age of my students? And the duration of my lesson. This is very simple. I can add more criteria. Like, for example, I can tell him I need the anticipated problems. I need, for example, chances to improve the teachers. I need the materials needed. You can add whatever you want and let's look. So here I finished my request and I will just click here and I will wait for him. As you see, he started to write to me my lesson plan, as you see. Let him finish, and then we will revise what he have written. Okay, this is a very simple thing. Let's look from the beginning. The lesson duration is 40 minutes. The objective is clear here. The materials, he wrote the materials we will need for that. The introduction will take you 5 minutes, and here are the steps, what to do to introduce your lesson. The vocabulary that you are going to teach in 10 minutes, and here is the way. You will use a song or video in 5 minutes. We will have an activity here in 10 minutes, and it explained the activity, what to do. You will practice what you have learned in 5 minutes. You will make a revision on what you have learned in 2 minutes, closure for your lesson in 3 minutes, the homework here, the homework idea, and how to assess your students, what to do for differentiation, what to do to extend your lesson to the upcoming lessons. So this is a very simple way. In 2 minutes, we created a lesson plan. What will I do is that, as an active teacher, of course, I will just take the things that ChatGPT created for me, and I will put them in this nice design. Or I am a busy teacher, I don't have time for that. Okay, so I will take whatever I found here to a simple Word file. And after that, I will start editing if that goes fine with my students or not. Okay, how about if this is not satisfying for me? Okay, add more criteria, add more requests to ChatGPT. What do you need exactly? For example, here it said you need a song or video. So play a catchy song or video that focuses on body parts. So I don't have time to search actually. So what will I do is that I will just copy here. Okay, and I will paste here to ChatGPT. Find, I am trying with you, by the way. Find a catchy song or video that focuses on body parts for primary, for example. And let's see. He wrote a song for me. See? So there is a song written for me already. So, okay, I will change my question in a different way. Find from YouTube a catchy song or video, I don't know what. So I will try that. Okay, he couldn't find for me. Anyways, so maybe you can find on YouTube yourself, or as you see here, he wrote, or the AI wrote a song for you. Maybe it can be a unique song for your class that you sing together just to memorize the body parts. So my main point here is involve technology, involve AI into your preparation. It's really helpful, especially if you are a new teacher in the field and you don't have enough time to search here and search there. It's like a search engine for you. It creates things for you. Maybe you need to find more ideas for activities. Just write what activities, for example, and you will see a lot of ideas. So activate all this and you will be more comfortable, but more effective in your classes. So finally, when we plan, the most important, and as I saw again, that many people are very good at planning, but they are very bad at applying. So this is the key word here. So plan and apply. Plan, apply, reflect to yourself, improve, and then plan again and apply, and so on. So this is really important, guys. Planning is a very important key to have an effective learning inside your class. If you are not planning, the students can catch you in 2 minutes that the teacher is not prepared. She doesn't care, and I don't care either. This is the feeling that we convey to them, that my subject is not important. I am not planning. I am not ready. You don't need to give me feedback. You don't need to be assessed. I don't need to learn anything more. It means that this subject is not important for you. So this is all from me today. I hope it wasn't long and boring for you. I would like to hear for your questions. I believe we have time for that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. I'm happy to share resources with you. I have a question here. Is there any book in your school? According to the plan, it isn't mentioned any activities from book. There are books, of course, in my school, but the thing is that the book is just a guide. But I always tell my teachers, put the book aside. Look at the students, what they need. If what they need is in the book you are using, then use the book. If what they need is not in the book, put the book aside. It's not important to finish it. The most important is the result. If I am speaking to a student in grade 2 and I am asking him very simple information about his class and he can answer me, it means that there is a result. But if I open his copybook and his book and they are complete, he wrote everything, and when I ask him a question, he doesn't understand me, it means there is no result. So this is a very simple equation, guys. Book is not the aim. Book is not the objective. We can include, of course, some activities from the book, but the most important is that this thing is really giving result with my students. Okay, so what other questions? I can't see any more thing here. You are welcome. Everyone is welcome. It is a pleasure for me for being with you. It's okay. Okay. Do we have any questions, Ms. Golnora, from anywhere?
No, unfortunately, I
No?
think that everything was so detailed and nicely explained that everyone have understood.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah,
that's
great.
great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So let me ask now, if they don't have a question, I have a question.
Great.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so now let's reflect, all of us together. After you have seen the importance of a lesson plan, after you have seen what we have talked about today, are you planning to plan every lesson you are going to teach now? Yes, okay, that's great. Okay, wonderful. We have another question here. What about activities or exercises which are in the book, which are students going to do at home? Are you going to add them too? Of course, you can add them. It's not a problem. You can use the book, but in a smart way. How? Don't seat the students. Don't ask them to open page number 7. We will do exercise A. Don't do that. You can include exercise A in part of the controlled activities you are going to apply in your lesson. So don't make them feel that the most important, the teacher wants us to fill the book. No, I don't want you to fill the book. I want you to practice what is in front of you. Most of the books we are using in our schools are published by very big publishing houses like Oxford, Macmillan, whatever the book you are using. And these people, they spent a long time in designing these activities in the books. So they are helpful activities. The problem is not the activities. The problem is the way we apply them in the class. We are dealing with these activities in a very solid way, that it is a fill in the spaces exercise, for example. So it means that the kids should fill the spaces. So believe me, I have seen that many times. The kids sometimes they look from each other and they just fill in the spaces because the teacher wants this. But does he understand? Can he apply this when he comes out of your classroom? This is the 2 important questions you need to ask yourself. Can my student use this language outside my classroom or not? Some of the students came to me and told me, Ms. Marwa, we can only understand our teacher. So when our teacher speaks English, we understand her. But when we go outside and we listen to someone else, we don't understand anything. So this is a disaster. If he understands well, it means he will understand everybody. That's why, again, in the school, I was very careful to have different teachers from different countries, not only native speakers. Because in this situation, the kids will get used to different accents and they will get used to listen to many people. So we are doing that. Even with the listening and speaking classes, I change the teachers all the time. So they can listen to many teachers, to many accents all the time. Activities are good, my dear. Just the way you are applying them can be motivating, can be involving, it can be engaging to the students. If you are doing that, then go ahead and use the book, no problem. Yes, planning is faster now, I'm sure. Just enhance AI and you will be amazing. Okay, should teachers...
Yeah, and we have, yes, we have another question here from Bahtibeki. Should teachers follow one particular format lesson plan or different one?
As you like, as you are comfortable. For example, maybe in some lessons you will need some extra things, maybe in other lessons no, but in my career life I have been using only one. But some schools are very strict about that and they want you to use their lesson planning format. So you feel uncomfortable at the beginning and after that you adapt to this. The thing I have noticed is that some teachers are just presenting the format of the school just for documentation purposes, you know, like, for example, we receive from the Ministry of Education that the lesson plans should be prepared like this. And so the teacher has to prepare two types of lesson plans, the actual one that he or she applies inside the class, and the formal or the legal one that we are going to give to the Ministry of Education or whatever. So I hope that you can follow your own format that would make you comfortable. If you get that format, just follow it for a long time. It's not a problem.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome, dear. Any more questions?
Yeah, dear participants, if you have any other questions, please, you can unmute yourself, ask a question yourselves, or you can write in the chat box.
Wonderful.
Hey, hello. I'm just, I have a question. My name is Mavlud. I'm also an English language teacher. I have a question about the use of AI in education. Does it have any danger also, for example, as we use it in our, just as it prepares for us ready materials, everything, does it affect on just our development? I don't know. What do you think?
If you are a beginner teacher, it's a nice way to learn. The problem of AI, in my opinion, is on our students, not on us. Because sometimes you know that the students are very good at using technology and they know many tools of using AI, even to draw, by the way, to prepare codes or whatever. So the danger is on the students when you ask them, especially for a writing assignment, and they just use AI for the writing. If you are more experienced with AI, immediately when the student brings you something written by AI, you can just find it, you can just see it. For you as a teacher, I don't believe it affects your improvement if you are using it wisely. What does this mean? For example, maybe in part of the time you will need to write a letter for your parents, for example. So, and you go to AI directly to write that letter. Of course, that affects the quality of the letter presented to the parent, and it affects your ability of writing, because by time you forget how to write. But to prepare something for you in a quick way, and as I told you, it's not a tool that you will use it alone. After that, you will lose this and modify it for your class. You are not going to use this alone. So in this way, you are adding your own experience, you are adding your own touch, you are adding your own feeling of your students into your plan or into the thing you are preparing. It's not affecting if you are using it wisely. Even now, some of the universities started to accept some of the parts written in master degrees and PhD degrees with AI. Some of the parts, they said like about 20%, and the other 80% should be written by you. So it means it is a way maybe to brainstorm ideas, maybe, or to find the gate that after that you can write and complete your writing. It's not a problem if you use it wisely.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. So we have here a nice comment. During the class was studied understanding by design. I suggest you, dear colleagues, use it because it is great lesson plan. Yes, yes. Okay. Do we have any more questions, Ms. Gulnara?
No, unfortunately, we don't have
Okay.
any more. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you so much,
Thank
dear.
you all. Yes.
All dear participants and Marwa Mansour for your dedication, for doing lots of webinar for us. And thank you so much, yes, for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Gulnara. Thank you for giving us the chance to meet together, to talk together, to share the knowledge, share the experience. I can't wait to be with you in the conference, inshallah.
Yeah, we are looking forward to. Yes, we are looking forward to. Yeah,
Inshallah.
thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ms. Gulnara. See you. Enjoy your evening.
Enjoy your evening too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.